Hi and welcome to my channel, and I'm just gonna be honest, this is like the 5th time I've had to redo this narration because I'm on new stuff, and every time I mess up I don't know how to save the previous narration, so I'll get like 25 minutes through this video and mess up and then accidentally delete the whole narration. But the long and short of today is that I'm going to talk about some stuff that's happened and hopefully share some wisdom with you, and also this cat boy, Georgie Katav. He's beautiful. We love cat boys. Cat boys. Wonderful. Alright. So the last time I posted an art video on this channel, like back in the summer, was right before Procreate updated. And Procreate updates, which is fine and dandy. It was a good update. There was lots of good features in the update. I enjoyed it very much. And it broke my iPad, so that was really fun. My iPad got broken because Procreate stopped exporting my time lapses, which is why there was no art that I did after that last art video, because I couldn't export the process to talk about it. And there's some cool stuff I wanted to show, but it's okay. You know, I still have the art, I guess, is all that matters. So I'm not sure how it works or what happened. The way it was explained to me was that my tablet type, like the chip in it, was not compatible with the update completely. So for some reason, it was like I was the first person to report the issue for an iPad Generation 5, but there was an iPad Pro model that also was having the issue, and it's because the chips or something were similar. Again, not a hardware person, not a tech person, I don't know how it works, but Procreate's like, yes, chip problem, we're dealing with it. And I said, okay, because, you know, it's nothing I can fix on my end, so whatever. Kind of wish it was, like, I probably could have come to terms with it if they were like, oh yeah, well, you drew this on a different version of Procreate, and now that we've updated to this version of Procreate, you just don't have access to these time lapses anymore. And I'd have been like, man, that really sucks, but I'd just been like, you know, whatever. What are you gonna do? The real reason I think ruined my iPad forever, but I'll touch on that in a minute. But yeah, like all of the time lapses were there. You could go into the video settings and watch them. It's just that there was no way to like export them to my camera roll so that I could edit them in iMovie. And like I read some people who were like, oh yeah, just screen record your iPad while you watch the time lapse. And that sounded very like a lot of extra steps and something that would take up a ton more space in my storage. So I just was like, nah, that's fine. I can live without the time lapses. I have other things I need to be drawing and working on anyway. It's fine. I'll just move. So other things that happened is my comic debuted on October 31st, my main character Alice's birthday. That is on Tapas now. If you're interested in reading it, there is a link in the description. It's the very topmost link because I am the most proud of it. Yeah, but that's on Tapas now. And if you would like to support the comic, then the coolest thing that you can do is subscribe to The Great Zazzle on Tapas. It's completely free, and it only costs 5 minutes of your time. If you don't have an account, if you do, you just press the subscribe button and you have access to my boy. Nothing is behind a paywall. It's all free to read. I eventually am gonna have bonus content that I am going to put on my Patreon that I'm working on building right now. That's another story for another day, or probably like the end of this video if I don't yap for too long. But yeah, I want everyone to just look at my boy. Please look at him. He is pink, he is custard, he is magic, he is beautiful. Yeah. But if you're wondering why there is an intermission, that sort of ties into what I said a little bit ago about Procreate broke my tablet, not my computer, my tablet, my iPad. It broke it, I'm pretty sure. I can't confirm anything, but I have suspicions. So I get up one day and I go to work on Zazzle. Keep in mind, at this point in time, it's like halfway through December. I'm halfway through chapter 8. I'm getting ready to post chapter 5. Like, everything is well and dandy. I feel like my life is together. I've been working hard on this comic. I've been seeing improvements. I'm feeling good about it. And yeah, I'm ready to share with the world what happens next, because I was really excited about chapter 5. Things happened in chapter 5. And if you would like to know, then stay tuned until February and you will find out. But yeah, so anyway, long story short-ish, I go to open Metabang to cut my panels for the page that I'm getting ready to work on, and it keeps crashing. I keep clearing it from the cache and like resetting the app, and it still crashes. I keep like, I don't know, like I tried recovering the canvas I was using, I tried making a new canvas, I tried selecting a canvas I already had. Nothing I did would work. Like, it just insisted on crashing Metabang. So, you know the old IT saying, have you tried turning it off and on again? So, I turn the iPad off, and I go to turn it back on, and it gets stuck on that stupid Apple loading screen. And I'm like, oh, cool. What's this? Come on, and here's the other thing, like, I slept in all week and I didn't get up and work on the comic when I wanted to. And I had felt like I've been running late all week. And this is the morning that I woke up ready to draw. I woke up for once and it crashed. And I was like, why? What did I do? So, I start Googling, and Google's like, oh yeah, you're just gonna have to plug the tablet into your computer and update it through iTunes. It needs a software update, and because it's doing a stupid and not loading, you're gonna have to like go into iTunes and find your iPad and then update it, and then that'll fix it and it'll be fine. And I'm like, okay, well, if it just needs a software update, that's fine. You know, I'll still be kinda early. I'll still get a little bit done. It'll be fine. So I plug it in, and at first it's like being really weird and it won't find my iPad at all. But then, you know, I managed to bypass that and start going through with a software update. And I keep reading on Google, and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, if that software update doesn't work, you're gonna have to factory reset your iPad. And I'm like, that's really bad. That won't happen. That won't happen to me, who hasn't backed up any of my comic pages at all. Surely that won't happen to me. Oh, that would be really bad if that happened to me. Guys, it happened. It happened to me. It did. That software update didn't work. It didn't work. So, at that point, I kind of knew I was in deep doo-doo. Me and my husband tried a bunch of stuff. Baban and a bunch of people in her chat suggested a bunch of things. And I tried and tried and tried, and nothing worked, unfortunately. So I lost all of those 4 chapters that hadn't been posted, because, like, the 4 chapters I had posted are fine, right? Because they're already on Tapas. I just don't have... well, for chapters 1 through 3, actually, I do have backups. Just not for chapter 4. So I'd have to actually pull those from Tapas. But 5, 6, 7, and what I had done of 8 were just completely gone because I hadn't posted them anywhere because they were a secret. And I didn't have anything to, there's nothing doing. They're just gone. They'd have to be redrawn. And it was really sad. I was really, really sad about it. I lost progress on some commissions that I was working on. That sucked really bad. I had a Snapstuck update sketched. That was gone. I had all kinds of beefy boys that I drew. Those are gone. I had so many whips, so many works in progress. Sorry for this train, by the way. But I had so many whips that were like, yes, we are going to be finished one day. Those, so I went through like this really fun depression phase where, like, how do I describe this? I'm the type of person who, if I lose a bunch of progress on a game, I just won't go back to it because I'm annoyed I have to do it all over again and it seems really trivial. I also like to replay games a bunch, so I don't know why I have that mentality. I think I'm just spiteful. Like Pokemon Platinum, I didn't really like the Sinnoh region, and I had finally managed to make it all the way to Victory Road before the Elite Four, and I made my way through that whole cave, and I think it took me a little over an hour. I don't remember how long it took me. I just remember that I'd been in there for a while and I was annoyed about it, and I was at the last battle before they let you out and go to the Elite Four, or the Pokemon League, whatever, and I dropped my Nintendo DS and it froze my game and I had to reset it, and I started way back at the beginning of Victory Road, and it was like, okay, cool, thank God that I have to do that all over again. So I turned the game off and I just didn't go back to it ever again. So mad. And I kind of have that mentality with drawing as well. I know that we've all kind of been in a situation where you've been working on a drawing for a few hours and then like your program just decides to crap itself and it crashes, and then you hadn't saved in a while, so you lose like a bunch of progress, if not the whole drawing. And you're just like, whatever, I don't even want to look at this anymore. I know I've done that. There's a few drawings that I have that I especially do not like because I've had to deal with redrawing stuff on them because the app crashes. And, you know, you always draw it better the second time because you learn from what you did the first time, or like you have the chance to do something different than you did before because you did it one way and you settled for it. You just decide, oh, I'm going to do it better this time. That is a good thing that always annoys me because why didn't I draw it that way the first time? But yeah. So it was kind of the same way with Zazzle. I'm sorry if you can hear my dog scratching. He's being very noisy. I felt that way with Zazzle. Just, I was really annoyed. A bunch of people called me out, you know, because I cared about Zazzle a whole lot, and there was some pages and panels that I felt like maybe are not super good. Maybe I would like to redraw this, and everyone's like, no, Cherry, don't redraw it. You'll have to redraw everything if you redraw it. Don't do that, you know. Be happy with what you have. And then, you know, this happens, and now I have to redraw chapters 5, 6, 7, 8, and, you know, my buddies, my friends, the people that are close to that just know me super well, just kind of, hey, Cherry, you know how you said you wanted to redraw your chapters? Yeah, I remember. And it does feel good that now these chapters look exceptionally better than they did the first time, but it's also really annoying because, oh my god, why didn't I draw it this good the first time if I Maybe if it was this good the first time, I wouldn't have been stupid and backed up all my saves. Maybe. But I didn't, and I lost everything, and now I have to redraw it, and that's a lot that I've been dealt. So, please, if you take away anything, like if you're listening for some reason listening to this, please go back. If you haven't backed something up, go back something up. Just do it, please. Don't redraw your stuff. It's sad. It's really sad. But the reason I say that it was Procreate's fault, right? The reason all this happened is because of Procreate. It is, well, it's funny because I went to Procreate after my iPad was rebooted, and it rebooted to like a backup from March. Would you think, oh, surely you saved something? Well, no, because I didn't start drawing Zazzle until April. RIP. But yeah, I went into Procreate and I messed around and I, worked on my commission a little bit, worked on some things here and there, and I thought, I want to try something. So I tried to export a time lapse, and it exported. The time lapse actually exported. So in breaking, my iPad completely dying and resetting itself, it fixed the issue that Procreate was having, which is great, when you don't have art to export time-lapse of. All those drawings have been wiped from my Procreate gallery. It was all gone, so what was the point? But yeah, anyway, my theory is that, gosh, I can't talk, I don't know what's going on. My theory is that Procreate, the chip, whatever, because, I read that if the software update didn't work, it was a hardware issue and you'd have to factory reset. My theory is that Procreate and the chip issue caused my iPad to not be able to take it anymore, and it caused it to stop working. I have a theory that it's Procreate's fault, and I can't confirm anything, but it seems suspicious that before my iPad died, the thing wasn't working, and after my iPad, resurrects itself after unloading everything that I had done for the past 9 months, all of a sudden, Procreate works again. And I have to be honest, I have a little bit of a beef with Apple right now. This isn't me saying you shouldn't buy Apple products, or you shouldn't, you do you do what you like, you like what you like, you buy what you want to buy, you use what you want to use. But my phone has, both my phone and my husband's phone have just been not working as well as our older phones used to. And before all this even happened, Procreate crashed all the time. And not only would it crash and it would delete big chunks out of my canvas. It looked like somebody would take a big transparent square stamp and just dot it on random parts of my canvas every time that it would crash. And Procreate is constantly auto-saving your progress. It's it would just forget chunks of my canvas, and it was so annoying. It was affecting personal projects, it was affecting comic pages, it was affecting commissions. And I think at that point I probably should have known that that was the prelude to the end. But, no one likes to look problems in the face. I was busy and I wanted to pretend it didn't exist, and I paid for it dearly. Again, I would like to reiterate, please back everything up. I probably should have offloaded a bunch of stuff. I don't know if offloading a bunch of memory on the iPad would have fixed anything, if it was the Procreate issue anyway, but I couldn't say. It happened, and I kind of just have to deal with it now. But that being said, my new setup, I have an Android Galaxy Tab S6. DJ bought it for me the day that my iPad died. You know, to be nice, just because he felt bad. He and I both were of the opinion that if it happened once, it'll happen again. And he felt bad and didn't want me working on something that I really cared about on a tablet I didn't trust, and, you know, be at risk of constantly losing things over and over again. So he got me a nice new tablet for Christmas. I wasn't allowed to have it until Christmas, but it has pin pressure. I drew this GCat tab on Autodesk Sketchbook. I like the program pretty well. I don't know if there's anything better out there, but I do like this. I like that I have access to the Copic markers. The blending tools are very nice. There's lots of really cool layer modes. I don't know if this is a tablet thing or a program thing, but it seems to be able to handle bigger size canvases and more layers on canvas sizes that I've gotten used to working with on a tablet. Because, you know, if we're being honest, in Clip Studio Paint, my canvas sizes are colossal. Because my computer, I guess, can handle it a little bit better. But yeah, I like it. I like that it has a time-lapse feature. The only difference between it and Procreate is you just have to turn it on manually per canvas, so it doesn't run if you don't want it to. And I'm using, well, obviously not iMovie to edit videos anymore, but CapCut, I think? I don't know. But yeah, that's why everything new. That's why Zazzle intermission. That's why no videos. So I am working on building up a Patreon page, and we talked about, my husband and I, a while back about making bonus chapters for Zazzle that would go on the Patreon. And when I say bonus chapters, I don't mean necessarily, oh, excuse me, I'm gonna yawn now, full-length chapters. A lot of it's just gonna be little shorts, kind of like the intermission I posted. It's things that are not relevant to the story, but things that are canon but are just funny. I hate to say, imagine that you're paying for filler, but it kinda is. It's just like side adventures that they would go on that might get referenced later on. A reference that you don't have to get to understand the main plot of the story. It's like a side quest. Look at it that way. It's like a side quest. The Great Zazzle side quests. On top of that, I also was gonna put character sheets, costume design, character design, species design, talk about like the semantics of how some of the planes work, some character backstories that we may not necessarily be able to get into, some non-Zazzle related things. I have been doing a lot of crochet lately. It's something that I've done for a long time that I've never really done anything with. I don't get like a lot of commission or custom orders for those, even though I do them. But I thought it would be really fun if I took patterns that I wrote and put them on the Patreon page. So maybe if you guys were interested and you do that kind of thing yourself, you'd have access to the patterns if you, I guess, subscribed at a certain tier. And the other fun thing that I've been doing is I have been learning coding and web design. And my husband and I have been working on a concept for a game. It's a dating sim. We want to have it out on Android, like as an app, and also possibly on Steam. I don't really know how a lot of that stuff works yet. Like, this is still very early in the planning phase for this project. But some things that I would like to put on Patreon for that would be, it's a dating sim, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that, but you know, characters that you would be your potential partner, like their personality types, their design process, their start to finish before being finalized. Probably some game development whips. I don't know. Sneak peeks? Is that the right thing? That. That kind of thing would be something that I'd like to put on Patreon. And some live drawing stuff. I've been told that's a cool thing that people like to see on Patreon, is like not sped up, fully recorded process. You see the tools and all that. So yeah, that kind of thing. But that doesn't exist yet. That's a future thing, and when it does exist, it will also be in the description. Does anybody else, when they're not on camera, when they say description, do you guys point down at the description box that, you know, because nobody can see you? Am I the only? No? Okay. Oh yeah, and I stream on Twitch sometimes. I'm not very good at keeping it consistent. You may have seen the Pokemon videos. Those are from past streams. I want to start moving my streams over to YouTube when I do stream. But I've been so caught up in redrawing comics. I need to test my new stream setup. And last but not least, I have been propositioned to do a Zazzle Q&A. If you have any questions you would like to ask for about Zazzle or the characters, the story, I'm gonna try to answer those the best I can without giving anything juicy away. My husband and I, he doesn't know it yet. I'm gonna tell him in a minute that he's gonna do it, but yeah. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments and I will answer them in a video. I don't really expect there to be a whole lot, but we'll see what happens. You know, a lot of you guys talk to me on Discord. You can just like DM them to me or something. I don't know. Find me, ask me questions, and I will answer them on a YouTube video with DJ. He is my writer. He has the big brain ideas, you guys. I just make pretty boy. I don't think I have too much left to say in terms of life update, but GCat is almost finished. He's wonderful. I love him very much. In terms of things that I wanted to work on now that I have a new tablet, color was one of them, and I feel like I didn't do too heck with the coloring on GCat. But yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next